What's up, guys? Welcome back. I'm Chris. Thanks for watching. I just wanted to go over something today while I'm waiting for some parts and stuff to go any farther with the car. I was watching a video a while back about adjusting valves in a 5-liter 302. And what I wanted to go over with you guys today was, some of you may not know this, but on a hydraulic roller camshaft like you'd find in a Mustang, there are springs inside of those lifters. So when you go to adjust the valves or even check push rod length, which you ought to check push rod length anytime you switch cylinder heads, have your heads milled, anything like that, put a new camshaft in, you should really check your push rod length and check the amount of sweep on the valve stem. And really, there's so much involved in that. I wish I was building an engine right now, but I'm not, to have anything tore apart to show you, but we'll probably get into that somewhere down the line, whenever I decide to pull this engine out or it breaks or something and I have to. But where it does apply right now, though, that I can go over is the actual lifter to check that. A lot of guys will just go ahead and with the engine all together, and they'll check that sweep across the valve stem, and they'll check their push rod length with the engine all together and the lifters that they're going to use. Well, with a hydraulic roller engine, that really isn't the way you should do it. I mean, you can probably get away with it a lot of times just because with a stock-ish camshaft, there's just a ton of room in there. So what you're going to be off, you know, you're probably not going to have to worry about it. But where you will run into a problem and where you will have to worry about it is where you go stick in a pretty decent sized camshaft in, or you put an aftermarket set of pistons in. They'll a lot of times have a bigger valve relief, sometimes not. And you need to clay your engine and check all that. And if you're using a hydraulic lifter, like I said, that's you're basically just chancing it. You're doing the right thing, but you're not doing it the right way, I guess is the right way to put it. So what I want to do, just go over real quick. I've already done this years ago, and I keep a set of these in my toolbox. And a good way to do it, like I just went and bought these at the parts store. Like I said, I've probably had these for, I'm guessing, close to 10 years. I've probably had these. And all I did was go to the auto parts store and I bought 2 lifters. One for the intake side, one for the exhaust side. They're the same lifter. And you just take it apart. And I'm going to show you right now kind of what you'll see in there. Unfortunately, like I don't have one that hasn't been converted yet, but I can kind of explain to you what you'll find and what you need to do. So let's look at that real quick. Okay, so what you have here is your stock style hydraulic roller lifter for a small block Ford. And you'll see here you got a clip, okay, and there's a plate. And then you'll have some other parts inside of here. Now down in here, there's going to be a spring and there's going to be a check ball, which that's what hurts you when you're trying to check this stuff, your push rod length, and adjust your valves with an engine that's not primed, because oil pressure will go in the side of this lifter in this hole. Okay, oil pressure is going in that, and it's pumping up the lifter. It's hydraulic, obviously. So it's pumping that up. Well, when there's no oil pressure, that spring and the ball in there will shove down. So if you tighten it up, as you tighten that up, and the push rod pushes on it, it'll squeeze whatever oil's out because there's no pressure to hold it in, and it'll just collapse. So, obviously that's not going to allow you to get a good reading on the push rod length, and really, it's not going, if you're not doing it correctly. This is where it takes some experience in adjusting valves, but if you're not doing it correctly when you're adjusting your valves, you're also going to over tighten the valve. Okay, And I've seen it done before. I've seen it done where they were so tight that the engine wouldn't even start. So you just got to be mindful of that. So all you're going to need, really, and I've seen guys use washers. With this particular lifter setup, you don't need a washer, from my experience and the way I've done it, but you'll just need a pair of needle nose pliers like these, or even a set of snap ring pliers will work. But like I said, you're going to find that clip. You'll take that clip out. Underneath that clip will be this. Okay, it'll come right out. Now there's going to be a little bit of spring pressure behind that with that check ball, but it's not going to be a whole lot, so you don't really have to worry about it. Obviously, you know, it's a good idea to wear safety glasses when you're doing this, just like with anything, but you just got to use some common sense. And you'll find this disc, and then you're going to find that, okay? And there's going to be a little piece here that has a hump on it. You're not going to need that. Set it aside, all right? So you'll take that apart. It'll actually go in this end, I believe. And there'll be the spring in there and the check ball, and that's what's pumping up and what's doing the hydraulic pressure on your push rod. So you're going to take the spring out. You're going to take that little humped piece out and set that aside in the check ball. You don't need any of it. All right. And like I said, it's all going to come out of this piece right here. Okay. Now, like I said, I've seen guys take washers and they stack washers up inside there. You don't need to do any of that. It's a lot simpler than any of this. So what you do is you just take this piece, okay, comes out like that, the hollow end. You just flip it. Put it back inside, all right? You're gonna take this little cap, and I've seen guys leave this out, but I put it back in. I think it might just hold it a little bit tighter. Put that in. You're gonna put that in, and then you're just gonna put the spring back in, okay? This is probably gonna be a pain in the butt. I usually use snap ring pliers for this, but I couldn't find them today. I don't know where I set them. So we'll just do it with regular pliers. Pick even will work. I mean, there's not a lot of pressure on it, so that's all there is to it. Like I said, these are an old set I've had, and honestly, if I had been thinking years ago when I did this, I would have just kept old ones out of an engine. That's probably the best thing to do. Just when you're tearing down an engine, if you are, and you're putting the new cam and lifters in, just go ahead and keep 2 of them, of the nicer looking ones in the engine, and convert them like this. And cheap, easy way to do it, to make your own tool. I don't know if anybody makes one like this, but I've not seen somebody that sells it. So you're going to have to make them yourself anyway, and they were pretty cheap. I don't think they were much more than like $10-15 a piece. I think when I bought them, they've probably gotten a little bit more expensive, but I just wanted to go over that because, like I said, I watch videos and I see a lot of guys, and I imagine they just don't know any better. But something you should always do anytime, like I said, anytime you put a camshaft in, put new heads on, have your heads milled, it's going to make a little bit of a difference. And on a car that you're putting around, you know, you're just taking to a car show and stuff, and it's not revving, like you're not, you know, you're not really beating on the car any, you're probably going to be okay. But I wouldn't trust it. I would check all that stuff, clay the thing, and just make sure that that you did it right the first time, because there's nothing that'll ruin your engine faster than wrecking a valve train. So thanks for watching. Thanks. I appreciate it if you'd subscribe and leave a comment if you'd like. And we'll see you next time.